Chapter 22, Wheels of Time, 2011. Our next Virginia court hearing was scheduled for August 31st, so the whole goal from now until then was to make sure I dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's in order to convince the Virginia judge to finally hand over jurisdiction. I set up a Facebook account for Thorbjorn where I uploaded almost daily pictures and videos of the two children. This was only for Timian's eyes and obviously to show off my good co-parenting skills. Timian had requested weekly Skype calls with Bjorn. Wednesday night, February 16th, 2011. Timian looked so bored on the webcam while talking to Bjorn. He also looked defensive with his arms crossed in front of him.
What did you do in school today?
Timian asked. That's not a good question for a 4-year-old. Instead, you have to encourage speech by constantly talking like, did you color today? At lunch, did you have yogurt? Or was today pajama day again? This webcam communication will not last. It seemed to be fizzling before it even started. February 18th, 2011. Tonight broke my heart. It is visitation weekend. We met at Target in Bowie, Maryland, like normal, to hand over Bjorn. But it appeared he did not want to go with Tin Man. Bjorn kept saying,
"No, I go in Mama's car,"
which only frustrated Tin Man. It was so hard driving away. It likely would have been easier if Scarecrow had been there, since she is a nurturing energy. I sighed. Tin Man was driving her car, though. I wonder what happened to his car. I have started dreading the Fridays I have to hand over Bjorn. Teresa pointed out that visitation weekend should typically give the mama a break, but it was the opposite for me. The long drives on Friday and then again Sunday, and I spend the whole weekend worrying about Bjorn. The next day, I did reach out to Tin Man to talk to Bjorn, to touch base with him and make sure he was okay. Tin Man wouldn't text me back or answer my calls, so I texted Scarecrow, and she did the same thing. Ignore me. So now she's choosing not to be involved. Can't help but point out that she's sleeping with my husband in my bed where my water had broken when I was pregnant with Bjorn. She's living in my house with my cat and currently has my son, and she doesn't want to get involved? Impressive. She's really being given the choice to see the truth about Tin Man right now before she marries him. Granted, he and I aren't even divorced yet, but apparently they are eager to say their vows. And here she is, seeing that I'm being denied the chance to speak to our son, and yet she still wants to marry him and have kids with him? Does she not see these things as red flags? I guess she doesn't see how similar she and I are, both being the nurturers and taking care of everything. I guess she doesn't see how easily she could be in my same situation. No, she's likely believing whatever lies Tin Man is spewing. I'm their enemy, which is likely bringing them closer. I'm starting to dislike her. Because of her support, Tin Man can continue to do the drives. But the thing that infuriated me the most is the fact that Bjorn has started calling her.
"The other Mama."
I don't know if she taught him this or if he started calling her that, but it sucks. Thursday, May 31st, 2011. Today I really felt off. I made mistake after mistake, like a snowball expanding while going downhill. I had put Bjorn on the potty with the computer this morning, and then I lost track of time and saw the bus. I panicked and yelled for him. He refused to get off the computer, and I ended up yelling at him. But I was more mad at myself for losing track of time. Dina, the bus driver, patiently waited for us. I think she knows I can often be a hot mess. Then while I went to grab Bjorn's book bag, he darted outside and ran into the street. I ran after him and scolded him about needing to wait for me. He ended up getting on the bus crying, which crushed me. I know moving forward that I need to help him transition off the computer and get him outside waiting for the bus. Then, as if my day couldn't get any worse, I walked upstairs to put laundry in and ended up hearing Thaddeus crying. I hadn't realized the baby monitor had gotten unplugged, so I hadn't heard him when he woke up. By the time I got him, he was so upset. I took him downstairs and just rocked him until he wiggled out of my arms and was okay. Thaddeus is crawling now too, and just to prove today was going to be lousy, he ended up bumping his head 2 separate times. It was awful. I felt like the worst mother on the planet. Then I wanted to go check the mail, and I received a letter from Tin Man's Virginia attorney, which immediately dropped my energies and put me in a sad frame of mind. I logically knew it was bogus, that his motion to have everything transferred to Virginia was not going to happen. His argument, though, was that I was the one who left the state, so I should have to suffer the consequences. I sighed deeply. I wanted to just crawl back into bed, pull my blinds shut, drink some hot cocoa, and pretend the world out there didn't exist. Then it dawned on me, tomorrow was April 1st. The day I married Tin Man 5 years ago. Nice. Monday, April 18th, 2011. I am really sick of doing these drives. All that time spent in the car, it makes me so sad. These visitation weekends have to come to an end eventually. Thaddeus is 10 months old now, and he still isn't sleeping through the night despite my best efforts to train him. I'm exhausted, physically and emotionally. Too many nights where I'm not getting enough sleep. So I've decided to move Thaddeus' crib into Bjorn's room. Bjorn sleeps through Thaddeus' fussiness, and Thaddeus will be able to see his brother there, and hopefully learns how to comfort himself back to sleep. I need my sleep, and I will be a better mom, a happier mom, a saner mom when I get my sleep. The first night after moving the crib and while I was there alone, I felt oddly scared. It reminded me of the first night after I had told Tin Man I was done with the marriage, and I slept on the floor in Bjorn's room. I'm grateful for the freedom, but I also feel guilty for letting Thaddeus grow up and not need me as much. It's so hard being a single parent. When Thaddeus wakes up and cries out, every muscle in my body responds, wanting to go to him. But Thaddeus needs to learn how to sleep through the night for his own health and well-being, not just for me. He needs good sleep too. Oh, it's so hard trying to be a really good mom. Tuesday, May 3rd, 2011. My phone beeped because a new email dropped. Thorbjorn was watching Wonder Pets and Thaddeus was playing in the Peck and Play. I looked at my phone. It was an email from Mr. Robin, my Virginia attorney, so I sat down on the couch to read it.
Destiny, as Dawn may have told you, Judge Bryce scheduled a telephone conference call in your case this morning at 8:45 a.m. After conferring with Judge Cody in Pennsylvania, Judge Bryce has concluded that although she has jurisdiction to hear Bjorn's case, she intends to grant our motion and transfer the Virginia custody visitation case to Pennsylvania, based on the finding that PA is a more convenient forum and the parties should not be forced to conduct parallel litigation. It is Judge Bryce's intent that the file, including the transcript, will transfer as an active case with all orders intact and will be reviewed by Judge Cody as it would have been reviewed by Judge Bryce. Please call or email me with any questions or comments you have. Robin.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I squealed in delight. Oh my God. I got up and did a happy dance. We won, Bjorn. And went over and squeezed him. The Virginia judge relinquished jurisdiction over you.
Mama, too tight.
He complained. We won! We fucking won! I yelled.
Mama.
Bjorn said, shocked.
Soap. You get soap.
I just started laughing. I went and picked up Thaddeus, who was already wide-eyed staring at me, and danced around the room. I wanted to do something to celebrate. And it hit me, like the weight of all of it. We won! I whispered. fucking won, you piece of shit. No more court hearings in Virginia. No more Judge Bryce. No more fucking Shawan Mason. My kids are safe. Thank you, God. I placed Thaddeus down on the floor to let him crawl around. Without warning, the tears came. I collapsed on the couch and sobbed with relief. Thorbjorn came over and placed his hand on my knee and looked up at me.
Mama, you crying?
He asked.
You sad?
I'm not sad. I'm happy, I said, still crying.
You need a hug?
Always, baby. And I reached out and grabbed him. Here I thought I was your protector, when in truth, you're really mine. That evening, I called Grandma Chris. I got news, I announced.
Really? Should I be sitting down? Hold your horses. Let me get a glass of wine first.
I started to laugh. You get ready, it'll be worth it. I heard her put the phone down. I heard clanking in the background.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me.
She encouraged. The Virginia judge gave up jurisdiction. Everything is in Pennsylvania now.
Oh, bless your heart, honey. That's fantastic. Now, I don't understand. Was there another hearing?
No, that's the strange thing. It was completely out of the blue. The judges spoke yesterday on the phone. The next Virginia hearing was scheduled for the 31st of August. And here it is May, and it's done. I'm not going to have to go to Virginia for another court hearing, ever.
Oh, granddaughter, I salute you. I'm so proud of you for your stamina, your vision. I know how torn up you've been. You've done it, honey. This is huge.
It is huge, I agreed.
Does this mean all the legal stuff is done, kaput?
Not exactly. Our current Pennsylvania child custody order does not include Thorbjorn, and our divorce is not finalized. The divorce is essentially paperwork, though. We have nothing to go over necessarily. Just need to calculate a portion of Tin Man's retirement plan, which honestly is money that will be used to pay the attorneys, so I won't even see any of it.
Wow, that's plumb crazy.
She said, I agree.
Well, honey, my heart is so full of joy for you.
Thank you. You've been there every step of the way for me.
Just doing my job.
The wheels of time had turned, and it was time to celebrate. In due time, I knew I would eventually have both my attorneys paid in full. I was moving out of survival mode. The anxiety I'd been carrying the past year was melting away. I was really trying to live a peaceful life, which is found in the present moment. My children were growing up before my eyes, and I knew they wouldn't be little forever. I knew this time with them, being little was so temporary. These children were my gifts from God. They healed my heart and taught me what real love was. Being loving, being kind, that's all that really mattered. I have learned how to feel joyful being alone, and eventually I know I would want to start dating again. There is a time and season for everything. I really learned that no matter how hard I work, prepare, or calculate, the final ingredient necessary to leap hurdles and manifest dreams will always come from the divine. It comes down to a little spark of magic reminding me that I'm not alone, that I'm always divinely supported. The dark times often bring us back to God. October 9th, 2011, I ran the Army 10-miler in Washington, D.C. My children were my whole motivation for getting back into running and to complete the race. I want them to know that despite their father's best efforts, he did not destroy me. I was so grateful I didn't have to wait until August for things to shift legally. We continued doing the bi-monthly visitations, now meeting at a local park. I began to notice that during the 2 hours Tin Man had Thaddeus, he often couldn't juggle watching Bjorn at the same time, if Scarecrow wasn't there too. He'd also hand Thaddeus back to me with a full diaper. If I approached him during the visitation and asked him where Bjorn was, he would just roll his eyes without answering me. Then I would find Bjorn playing near the water. It became obvious Tin Man didn't know how to multitask, so I stayed close by. Besides, it was supposed to be supervised visitation in front of the mother. November 2011. The visitation drives were preventing me from being able to make more money. I was still only receiving $55 a month in child support, and it was costing me over $250 a month to accomplish the visitation drives. Because my weekends were consumed with these trips, I was not able to pick up a second job to financially support my family. The children were on Medicaid, and we were still on WIC for food. Thorbjorn got completely wiped out by the drives, and Thaddeus was thrown off schedule for days after the visitation weekend. So, I just stopped. I stopped doing the weekend visitations, and interestingly, Tin Man did not object to this. I also wrote him an email with a proposal, offering him free hotel stays for 1 year in Pennsylvania, specifically 4 nights a month, which would cost me a little bit more than the visitation drives and will prevent us from having the boys in the car for 12 hours every other weekend. I had no idea if he would take me up on the offer. I had a feeling, though, he was losing interest in being a parent. Time would tell.